Hey, this Omar, and just on here, a quick take on the Giants versus Seahawks, a big game in the NFC this week, and just my thoughts on it. And Seahawks, man, they uh they winning, they winning. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the sauce is. The Pete Carroll done spit in their ear during training camp, and they done kept it going through the season. But them boys is balling. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's one impressive win after another, after another, after another. So now, like, if you did beat them, that was like that was a good ass win, you know what I'm saying? Cuz this team is well coached. Both of the teams, the Giants is especially this year is well coached, and Seahawks hands down is well coached. As a team, they were just you know what I'm saying, you just got to give a lot of kudos to Pete Carroll. Like everybody said, yeah, they wasn't going to win at the max, maybe 2 or 3. They was going to be one of the bottom dwellers of the year, you know, what I'm saying, for this season. And they following this man right here on the screen, you know what I'm saying? And he been riding the bench for years, you feel me? He had this time where he was the jet starter, and he might have been given that, he was in a bad situation. They ain't really had the talent, and what I'm saying, he wasn't at his best, and he was, maybe a little immature or whatever, but now he's more seasoned and he's kind of flourishing, you know what I'm saying, in that Seattle atmosphere. You look at the Giants, right? And the Giants ain't no slouch this year. They come with it. But it was a lot of things that they didn't really get nothing going. They didn't really have a flow to the game, you know what I'm saying? You know, they had the score was 10-7 at the half, and they ended the game with 13. So, they was kicking field goals while, Seattle was just, dominating the game. You know what I'm saying, on both sides of the ball. You look at Daniel Jones, he had 17 completions, 31 attempts, 176 yards. That ain't gonna get it done at all. They locked down Barkley. Barkley had 20 carries, so they was feeding him, but he only had 53 yards, and he had a touchdown. But what I'm saying, his yards and his touchdown really didn't impact the game. You know what I'm saying? And they got a lot of injuries. So they gonna need to throw the ball in order to move in the NFC, especially when it gets to this time of the year. We about to be in November, going in December, and you really want to make a push, you gonna have to throw the ball. So I don't know what the coach gonna do as far as Daniel Jones. He gonna have to have one of them performances where you say, okay, yeah, I can see them maybe doing something, but he's pretty much a game manager this year. Slayton, at first he was in the doghouse, but since everybody was hurt, he led the team on 6 targets. He caught 5 for 66, and Hudson, he was solid though. He caught on 5 targets. He caught 3 for 58, but that was pretty much it. As far as their offense, they ain't do too much. Daniel Jones, he he fumbled the ball, but he didn't lose it. It was James that lost. He had 2 fumbles and whatnot. And you look at the sacks though. They had 3 sacks or whatever. Leonard Williams, he had a sack, and what's his name? I gotta remember his name. Oh yeah, Xavier McKinney. He had a sack too. So altogether they had 3 sacks. They ain't have no interceptions. And time of possession for the for the teams was they actually added more though. They had 33 minutes and Seahawks only had for 26 minutes. I was surprised that Metcalf played, especially as he looked last week where he was carted off. I thought he was going to be down for a few years. Not a few years, sorry about that, for a few weeks. But both him and Lockett played, and they were solid. You know what I'm saying? Gino came back with another one of his games, and I mean it don't blow your socks off because it's not like no 300-yard game, but he had 23 completions, 34 attempts, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's not making mistakes out there. You know what I'm saying? He's playing within himself. And you know what I'm saying? That's all they really need, because this year their defense is actually good. They got a lot of young kids back there. They playing some solid ass defense. Kenneth Walker, he is one of his I guess you could say his, lowest game so thus far as him being a starter. He had 18 carries for 51 yards and 1 touchdown, and he had a 2.8, yards per carry. So he ain't really put his stamp on the game. And the fact that he scored his touchdown in the second half and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Gino also chimed in with 5 carries for 26 yards. But receiving the ball, Lockett, he had 8 targets. He caught 5 for 63 and a touchdown. And then Metcalf, he had 10 targets. He caught 6 for 55 and a touchdown. And Goodwin, he had 5 targets. He caught 4 for 33. And they playing within themselves and not making no mistakes. And he don't feel that much pressure, and they asking him to play a certain way, and he's been doing that. You know what I'm saying? So far on the defensive side, they had 5 sacks, so they was just in Daniel Jones' face all day. You know what I'm saying? They had 8 QB hits. What you call his name? I want to say Anna Woozy. He had 2 sacks. Barton had another sack. Ford had 1. Maffei had 1. So they was it's gonna be hard to beat them, man. You know what I'm saying? And especially once they get their little mojo. They had a thing when you would go up there and it was tough to beat them. You know what I'm saying? They coming with that pass rush again, and they secondary is getting confidence each week. Whether it be getting interceptions or, what I'm saying, just like, shutting people down, making people get off the field. Because if you look at the teams on third down conversions, they both actually was pretty bad on third down. Seattle was 3 of 13, and the Giants was 6 of 16. But that ain't have no barn on the game because, like I said, it was all the flow of the game was always tilted towards Seattle, especially in the second half. So definitely been very impressed with the Seahawks thus far. And everybody saying like, yeah, the Cowboys and the Eagles for sure. But it's some other teams out there that's definitely gonna have some bump for them definitely when they get in the playoffs. And we'll see like if Gino gonna crack when when the big lights is on him, or whether he gonna show like, yeah, he has blossomed and transitioned to this different guy or whatever. But like I said, I've been impressed. Last week he beat the shit out of my mob. You know what I'm saying? The Chargers, he dogged their ass and stuff. And so, this week he did a phenomenal game. If you exclude that one game versus the Saints, you know what I'm saying? Even though in that game he still balled out. So I'm like I said, I'm very impressed with them. And if you just gonna give it to the best record, you might say, okay, yeah, the Philly coach or the Buffalo coach is gonna be coach of the year. But Pete Carroll definitely deserves some consideration as far as as far as that go, because he did a phenomenal good job with the with the blend of a little bit of vest, but a lot of young kids out there. So he doing a phenomenal coaching job. You know what I'm saying? Like hands down. All right, that's my thoughts on it. Thanks for listening.